right. So let's see what we got here. So thank you to Dr. Sasse. Now we're going to move along, and we're going to go to the one of the sponsors of the show, Masters of Pixinsight, and I think everybody is on. Yes, everybody is on, and we're going to move right on over to everybody. And there we go. Oh, look at this! Yay. Look at this! We got the shirts on. We got everything. We got the Astro Doc. We got the main sequence sponsor. We got all the shirts on. The only person that's not sponsoring a shirt is Eric.
Yeah. I'm
gonna tell you.
Did Navy win? Did Navy win?
It's tied right now, 17-all.
Oh, it's still going on.
Still going on.
Oh my jeez! Oh, he's looking around the green screen, trying to see the see the game.
I'm leaning over.
So welcome everybody.
Nice.
Yeah, well, welcome to everybody. Thank you for coming. Oh,
yes,
and I think Ron is. Hold on, let me see. I think we got some. There we go.
Testing 1, 2.
Yep, you're good, Warren.
I would have been wearing my shirt too, except I didn't get one. I sent you my size and everything, but
no way. Are you serious? I didn't get you a shirt.
Got a bone to pick with you.
Oh no!
And we're not starting our presentation until he gets his shirt.
And, I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna throw it to Guelph right in the she shed. I'm gonna go right to the she shed.
Bring it over. Bring your wife, and we'll have dinner.
We'll do it again. I had the pleasure of meeting 2 of the 3 of the people that are with us tonight. And Warren, you're coming real soon. I'm going to come down there and hang out in West Virginia. But it's going to be awesome. I'm telling you. There's got to be maybe a star party down there somewhere over there. That it's not that far away, but we definitely got to get together.
Yes, there's the Green Bank at Green Bank Observatory. And there's a what is that? Spruce Knob.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely talk after the show. We'll talk online.
Terrific.
Awesome. So, thank you guys for all 3 of you. Getting all 3 here is really a treat. And it's wonderful to have you guys here. It's really amazing. So, thank you for taking the time out.
We love being a sponsor, Dan, and love supporting you guys. And I know my favorite thing to do is be out in the observatory and imaging and have AstroWorld on and chat with folks out there. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and what the funny thing is that like this AstroPalooza is a lot different than anything we've ever done. It's a little bit more of a presenter and interviewee type. That's not really what we do. That's what we do on the show. If you've seen the show, we do the interviewee thing, but it's this is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I love doing this, but it's a little different of a tone. It's a different tone on the weekly show.
Yes.
There's a lot more people watching.
Well, you know what our pretation is tonight, right?
Yep.
And can I go ahead and share
Absolutely, go right ahead, and I'll make you.
So,
and that's going to come out of your screen, Pete.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so I know.
All right. So let me do this.
For now.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm getting the Mac is asking me for permission.
That's the same thing that
yeah. Yeah. So I don't think I've. So let me try to share my screen here and let's see what happens. Can you see my screen?
I see you.
You see me?
Not yet.
It's toggle screen sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? So you can hear me though, right?
I can.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. IT guy needs a little bit of a brain fart here. There we go. Share the screen. Have you got the screen shared?
Nope, just got you.
No.
It must be something with Max. I don't know.
No. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop out real quick and restart Chrome, and give me a second, and I'll be right back and talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Well, good thing Dylan's got a question for you while Eric's watching the game. He's like stuck to the screen. But question for the crew at Masters of Pixinsight. I won for the last class, but the night before my mother fell, we ended up in the hospital for Monday night and Wednesday and missed the class. Is my class still good? Yes.
But of
You
course,
get unlimited viewing of the video and unlimited download of the files for any workshop.
There you go. So there's your answer, Dylan.
And beyond that, if you pay for one of our workshops in the series, you can come for free anytime we do the same workshop again.
There you go.
There you go.
Am I back?
You are back.
Okay, let's see if we get the screen share thing going here. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Rock and roll.
I'm an IT guy. Just remember that, okay?
There you go. You need to take those notes down so I could send that to anybody who has a Mac. So let's.
Yeah. Yes, please start your. Well, that's the first time I've used Chrome, I guess. We're working with you guys. So, who we are, Masters of Pixinsight. We're the three amigos: Warren Keller, Ron Breacher, myself, Pete Prue, and Warren and Ron are actually Pixinsight ambassadors, and we have just been having a ball with Masters of Pixinsight. So, I have a little bit about ourselves, okay, for those who don't know, and I got to tell you, and I'll get it up before we're done here. Our traffic to this website, we're truly international. We've got clients, subscribers on 6 or 7 continents, and it's pretty amazing. Our reach with Masters of Pixinsight. So we do live workshops and video tutorials. We have a 6-part newbie series. And we have a 4-part intermediate series, and we actually cater to beginners and intermediate beginners. And there's a certain point where people move on because we've taught them, because Pixinsight can be so daunting when you first get into it. There's 1,000 you can use. We also have a 10-part Photons of Photo series, and this is one of our most popular workshops. We look over the shoulder of Warren and Ron, or sometimes both of them, while they process an image. And it's really a fun series. And I got to tell you, I learn a lot just being the moderator and watching these guys do their work. And we also have monthly and yearly subscriptions to our flagship tutorial series, Image Processing for Astrophotography, or we like to call it IP for AP. All the workshops feature imaging data sets, process icon sets, and unlimited viewing, because we record every one of our workshops, unlimited lifetime viewing after the workshop is done. We do have our next workshop is coming up December 27th, and it's going to be from 7 to 9 p.m., and it's our Photons to Photos 11 series. And we're going to be looking over the shoulder of Ron as he processes the iconic image of M45. And what we're offering tonight, guys, is we have a $5 off coupon code for any of our workshops. So if you're a subscriber and there's a workshop you don't have and you want to purchase it, use APOD. This code will be good for the next couple of days. And if you haven't had a chance to see any of our workshops, feel free to cruise on over to IP for AP. I'll show that here in a second. And not IP for AP, to Masters of Pixinsight, MOP. And I'll show you around. But again, on the 27th, it's between the Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday. So, hope everybody's decompressing a little bit and has some time to come and spend a couple hours with us. Again, $5 off code for any of our workshops. Just use the coupon code APOD. So a little bit about our story. Warren and I started, Warren, when did we start IP for AP?
2005, 6. Yeah, around there.
Yeah. So we started out with Photoshop tutorials. Then we went over to Pixinsight tutorials, and we were starting to do, Ron and Warren were starting to do 4 or 5 3-day workshops all across North America. We've done it up in Canada, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, And we had 2 workshops, one in San Jose and one in Buffalo scheduled. And then the pandemic hit. So we kind of were panicking. We had people register for this workshop, and we, kind of put our heads together. And what we did is we developed this website, and we took those 3-day workshops and kind of broke them down into 2-hour chunks. And that is our newbie series and our intermediate series. And so the pandemic really, gave us an opportunity. And I guess the best thing about it, and hopefully you guys agree, is all the great people we meet. Because, I say here our secret sauce is the live interactive learning. We get on, it's a giant video conference, and we have people from all over the world. We do our workshop, and we have interactive questions. We interact with our subscribers. People are having some problems with things that we can help them out with. And, Ron, Warren, and myself will try to help out anybody we can. And then Ron and Warren also offer one-on-one time with them for a cost, obviously. But you guys have, how many, Warren, how many people are you working with normally?
Currently, crickets, pretty much, but I've worked with a lot of folks over the years, and it's kind of neat. I think I turn people around pretty quickly in a 2-hour session, 3 of those, and they go off to, their greater good. And of course, people get busy, people come in and out of the hobby. So it's a cyclic thing, but Ron and I both really love working with people, turning the lights on, and like I say, connecting the dots.
Yeah, and I think, Ron, you have quite a few folks you work with too, right?
Yeah. I love the private teaching. I love the group. I just love to teach astrophotography. So
yeah, it's just a great community out there we have. And our mission, as we say, it's not that we're the masters of Pixinsight. We want to make you the master of Pixinsight. So, and I think we've done that. We've had some students turn out some great stuff.
We have a few. I think we have 4 APOD winners, Pete.
There you go.
We have 4 that have won APODs.
Terrific. So this is our site, Masters of Pixinsight. We have our workshops page, and this will go through, and there's information on all of the workshops we have. And again, we include data sets and icon sets our photons. We talk about our Photons of Photo series. You can see all of we try to process images that are currently kind of in the purview of everybody. Everyone's out there imaging right now, and for the season that we're in. And we go through and, again, step by step, show you how to process those images. We also have another site, and this is a free site. It's called Easy Pixinsight. And this is, again, a great beginner site here. And what we do is we go through simple processing of one-shot color data, DSLR image, and then monochrome LRGB. And, sign up on this site. Doesn't cost you a dime. And the best thing about it is that you have access to these data sets. And again, this is just a way of us introducing folks to image processing and Pixinsight, again, which can be quite daunting. Which leads to our topic tonight. Here's the APOD button. We're going to show you Pixinsight post-processing in as little as 11 steps. So that's all I got to say. Ron and Warren, why don't you take over?
Okay, I'm going to take it. Let's see.
Okay.
Here we go.
There you go. All right, let me just get you.
Do you see my Pixinsight screen?
You will in a second. Let me just find you real quick. I got so many different looks here. Let's see, where's Ron? There we go. And Ron B Solo. And there we go. Yes, we do. Go right ahead.
Good. Okay, so APOD button. Well, there's no such thing. Everybody wants an APOD button, but it wouldn't be as fun if you didn't have to tease out the details from your image. This screen shows you a completely unprocessed master image shot with a one-shot color camera and a Takahashi FSQ 106. And it's an image of the Andromeda Galaxy M31. we're going to have a look at it. Why did we want to talk about an APOD button and processing something in a few steps? Well, it's because, as Pete said, Pixinsight can be daunting. If you look at the list of processes, here's the list of all the processes. And then you look at all the scripts. These are just the standard scripts and a few that I installed myself. You've got like 150 or 200 processes, and it can be hard to know which ones are the most important. But it can be encouraging, I think, if you're just getting into Pixinsight, to know that with just a few of those processes, you can get a really nice result. This is not a ton of data, and it's not shot in a dark sky. It's 28 5-minute subs shot with a QHY 367C one-shot color camera and just a plain old UV IR filter. And as I said, 28 5-minute subs. So the first thing I'm pitching this talk, by the way, for people who know something about astrophotography. So for example, you know why this image looks completely black. It's because I haven't put any kind of a stretch on it. I haven't put either a temporary or a permanent screen stretch on it. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, because before I can, here's my steps here on the upper right. Before I can even do a crop, I have to be able to see what's going on. And for that, Pixinsight has the screen transfer function, the auto stretch button. And if you Pixinsight, all these tools have lots of tool tips. And if I just click this right now, I've got the channels all linked to each other. So they're all getting the same stretch. And so the image really looks terrible. It's showing what we call uneven field illumination and uneven channel sensitivity. So the green channel is much more sensitive than the other two. If I want to be able to visualize this a little bit more naturally, I need to hold the shift key down when I press this button. I'm sorry, the control key. And that's going to temporarily give me a better view of what's going on. So now I can see it well enough to crop it. And I'm just going to double click on my crop icon. You can adjust the size of this crop any way you like. You can move it around. You can even rotate it. If you don't like that rotation, you can manually type in the angle that you want. I'm going to turn it back to 0. And once you're ready, you go ahead and crop it. I like to crop very close to the beginning of the workflow because I don't want to process data that I'm never going to use. And also, if I've got artifacts on the edges, they're going to influence the statistics of some of the other steps. So that's better to remove them. Okay, so having done that, I want to rotate this image, and I'm going to use this rotation tool, fast rotation. I can rotate it 180 degrees, 90 degrees either way, or I can flip it. I'd like to rotate it 180 degrees. So now it looks more the way I want it to look. Of course, there's no rules about this. You could have this displayed any way you like. The next thing we have to do is deal with that green gradient that we saw when we did a stretch with the channels all linked together. We have to remove that. We also have to remove, there's a little bit of a gradient in brightness. You can see it's brighter up here at the top right and darker down here at the bottom left. So we're going to do what's called background modelization in Pixinsight, and that's removing the uneven field illumination. There's 2 tools for it, automatic background extractor and the dynamic background extraction tool. But this is a very easy tool to use. I've set it up with settings that I personally like. And in particular, I lowered the function degree to 1 because this is a nice smooth gradient from top right to bottom left. And I changed the box size to make the samples a little bit bigger. Now what we're going to do is correct the target image using subtraction. I'm going to go ahead and replace the target image, but let's have a look at the background model that gets extracted. So I'll go ahead and apply it. And the picture's going to look terrible again. Might look black. We'll come to that in a minute. But here on the left is the background that got extracted. And you'll notice that if I, again, click on this with the Control key pressed to link the channels, I'm sorry, the Shift key, we've got that green gradient there again. So that's encouraging. That's what was removed. If I now unlink the channels, you can see it's a nice smooth gradient from upper right to lower left. Just what I expected and thought I needed to remove. I can close that now. This looks terrible because it's got the old screen stretch settings and I need to reset that. So I'm going to press this again. And that now is much more even if you compare the top right. And I can do that, by the way, by left clicking. I can get a readout here. It's around 0.003 up there. And down here in the lower left, about the same, 0.00332. So that's done a good job of correcting the background. The next thing we're going to do is calibrate the colors. Now, for a lot of images, I would use the stars to calibrate the colors. But there's probably only maybe 2,000 stars visible in this image, but there's billions of stars inside the galaxy. So I'm going to use those billions of stars instead of using the stars in my picture. To select the region that I want to use for my white balance, I'm going to make a little preview. And that is going to be used, M31 Preview 1 is going to be used as the white reference image. I have structure detection turned off so it doesn't look for stars. That's what that really means, star detection. I have that turned off. Then the other thing I have to do is I have to tell this tool what black looks like. So black looks something like, if I zoom way in to the corner here, take my new preview tool, black looks something like this, like all the pixels in this little box here. And I can make that a little bit bigger without encroaching on the stars. So I'm going to tell it to use Preview 2, the one that I just made here, for the dark reference. And the upper limit is 0.1. All the pixels in this box are less than that, so they're all going to get used. They're all around 0.0032. So now I'll go back to my main image, and let's zoom back out so we can see what's going on. We're going to apply the tool, and you can already see the color improved. But again, every time you do something to an image before you stretch it, remembering that this is just a temporary automatic screen stretch, you have to reset that stretch. So now that I've calibrated the color, I don't want the channels to adjust independently. I want them to stay linked. So I'm going to hold the Shift key down while I click this button. And now I've got quite nice plausible colors. So I've got blue stars. I've got some nice yellowish stars. I've got a yellow core, brown dust lanes, some blue up here. It's hard to see the pink. It's in there. We'll see it when we do a little bit more processing. But I think that's a nice color calibration. Now it's time to remove the noise. Pixinsight allows you to move these previews around, and it might be easier to see the noise if we move Preview 1 up here and I zoom right in. You can see all this kind of mottling in the dark areas. There's much less of it in the galaxy, of course. There's a new tool on the block for noise reduction. It's from Russ Croman at rcastro.com. It's called Noise Exterminator. And not only does it remove noise, but it can also enhance detail a little bit. And it's based on an artificial intelligence neural network approach. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to the image. Actually, I'm going to do it on the preview first so that you can see how nicely it works. And then we'll do it on the whole image and move along. Just takes a second to load up. In case anybody's wondering, my computer has a Ryzen 5950X processor with 32 cores, 128 gigs of RAM, pretty fast. So this is, I'm going to zoom in a little more. This is after noise reduction compared to before. After, before. I want you to notice the very faintest stars in the image right here are still there after noise reduction. Fantastic tool. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and apply it. And while it's running, let me ask Warren. Warren, did I miss anything so far? Or anything you want to add?
Doing good.
We're good? Okay.
Doing good.
So the next thing I'd like to do is take this image from its linear state, where it's really mostly black, or very near black, and there's a direct relationship right now between the brightness of every pixel and how many photons hit that pixel. We're going to take this temporary stretch and I'm going to make it permanent. And I'm going to use the Histogram Transformation tool to do that. So we'll take off the temporary stretch now. Get this view locked onto the tool by clicking this little checkbox here, the Track View check mark. And now whenever you see an open circle like this on a tool, it allows you to open a real-time preview. If you've used Photoshop or some of the other tools, you might be aware of that ability to see things as they happen in real time. A lot of the time, that's not what you see and not what you need with Pixinsight. But with Histogram Transformation and several other techniques, it's really useful to be able to see things change in real time. So here I go. I have a three-part approach to this stretch, and I never touch the white point. I just work with the gray point here and the black point, which is against the left side. First thing I do is I move white point over to start brightening the image. And you can see in the top window, this is the histogram after the stretch. The bottom window shows the histogram before the stretch. You can barely see the before stretch histogram because it's tucked up against that left wall of this window. Luckily, I have a zoom tool that allows me to stretch that out so I can see what's going on better. And you can go as high as 999. But I'm going to go to about 100 here. And I'm going to grab my black slider and move it to the toe of the histogram. Down here, I can see I haven't clipped any pixels. When the pixels begin to clip, you'll start to see numbers and percentages there. But I'm not going to clip any pixels. And now I'm going to reduce this to 10 so I can see my gray slider again. And here we go. I'm just going to keep brightening this till it looks good. Now, in addition to typing numbers up here in this box, I can use my scroll wheel. So there's a lot of flexibility with adjusting this tool. I think that's pretty nice right there. I always aim for a background of around 0.1, 10% gray in every channel. And you can see I'm at 0.1049 or so up there, and down here, what do we have? 0.12, maybe a bit on the bright side. So I'll back it off just ever so slightly. You don't have to be really stuck on that 0.1, but it's a good way to prevent yourself from thinking you need to make the image darker. When you do that, you lose all this nice stuff on the outside. So I aim for about a 10% gray in the background. Still a bit on the bright side. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And the real-time preview looks like this because it's showing you what would happen if the same thing was done again. I'll close the real-time preview now. And here's our image. It's now stretched. You notice we don't have the screen transfer function on. This button here is no longer pressed. If it was, it would just look all white because it's putting a second stretch on this now stretched image. Okay, for the next few steps, I want to do something different to the bright areas than I want to do to the dark areas. So I need a mask, and a mask is kind of like a stencil. Luckily, there is a button up here, right here, that will extract just the lightness of this image. In other words, it will create a black and white image that looks just like this one does. Here we go. I just clicked the button. That's included in our 11 steps. That button is the Extract L button. So there's the icon for it. I could have done the same thing by just dragging that process over. That's the same thing. Now, my memory isn't as good as it was, so when I make a new image, I like to rename it with a name that's going to help me remember what I use this for if I ever come back to this project. So I'm going to change this to be called LMask. In other words, luminance mask. And a mask
Ron?
is like a stencil. Yes.
Sorry. Hey, so as long as we're talking about coming back to projects, how about real quickly just showing what the History Explorer is doing?
Yeah, I should. So every step that I've made here is captured in a history that you see the undo button, and I can keep undoing and redoing everything I did. That history is actually captured in a History Explorer window. And not only that, but I can drag that window onto the desktop for later reference as a process container. So if I ever wanted to use similar steps, for example, on another image, or I wanted to send these steps to my friend Warren to look at what I did, I could do it without even sending the whole file. What's more is Pixinsight allows you to save everything as a project. And so I'm going to save this as M31 in 11 steps. And I'm just going to overwrite what I've already done. And then I'll close it and show you how easy it is to get right back to where you left off. This shouldn't take long, I hope. Just talk among yourselves. Boy,
it's almost
okay,
done.
there we
you
go. And now, I close Pixinsight. When I launch it again, here we go. I can go to File, Open Recent Project, and there it is. And everything will be restored. Every history of every image window, all the icons on the right-hand side, everything I ever did to this image will be restored. It even remembers the screen geometry that you were using. Okay, I was talking about masks. I feel better. Thank you, by the way, Warren, because if my computer crashed now, I won't lose everything. So a mask, I was saying, is kind of like a stencil where all the black areas are kind of the protected parts of the stencil, and the white areas are going to let the paint through or let through whatever I want to do. And the way you apply a mask in Pixinsight is you use this little tab here. It's called the View Identifier tab. You use this little tab, you drag it across and drop it on the image that you want to cover. And now my stencil is in place. You can't see it because I have it toggled off. There's a whole menu for masks up here. And this is the toggle to allow you to see the mask. So here you can think that wherever I can see structure it's going to be affected by what I do next. Wherever I see red is going to be protected by what I do next. So I'm protecting the background and the faint parts of the galaxy. And for what I want to do next, I want to get a little preview going that has a bit of everything in it. And I'll take that preview, make the whole thing visible, and now I'm going to hide the mask. The mask is still in place. You can tell by the brown color of the View Identifier tab. And we're going to use LHE 50, Local Histogram Equalization. It's a contrast booster. These are the settings that Warren and I often start with. I know Warren and I both often end up at 18.18 for the amount, but I'm going to start at 0.2 because this image took it well when I was experimenting with this. And again, I'm just going to test it on the real-time preview. It's kind of hard to see what happened there, but on my screen I can see a very subtle enhancement of contrast. I'm going to make it a lot stronger just for demonstration purposes. Now I think you can see before and after, before and after. But for my taste, that would just be too much. I'm going to dial it back down to say 25% and apply it. Now, it's never have just one kind of, one size of structure in them. There's very, very tiny stars, and then there's big sweeping galactic arms. And there's structures like this elliptical galaxy, which is hundreds of pixels in size. So doing contrast enhancement at just one size level often isn't enough. So we usually recommend that you do it at 2 size levels. So we've done it at a scale of 50, and now I'm going to do it at a scale of 125. So again, I'm going to invoke the real-time preview this time. I'll do it on the preview so it loads a little faster. And now we're looking at larger scale structure, more in the core. Again, I'll turn it up so you can see what happens when we really crank it. Beautiful contrast enhancement. I actually like that a lot. I think I want to see that on the whole image. Now, to me, that's getting kind of crunchy. I had it at 22 when I was experimenting. So often one of the things I say is, if you can see what I did, I probably did too much. Where I really want to see the enhancement is in these dust lanes. And I think that's pretty good. I like it. So I'll get out of the real-time preview and I'll go ahead and apply this to my image. Nine steps so far, folks. We're almost done. The next thing we want to do is we want to enhance this image with a bit of special sauce. Remember, we have a mask in place that's protecting the background. So I think we could do a little bit of a brightness enhancement as long as we're careful with the stars. And I think we could add some color saturation to this image. So for that, I'm going to use the curves tool. Let me close this. I'll get my LMask out of the way. And this if you recall, I just made this for demonstration purposes. Notice, though, that there's a lot more steps in the history now of our image of M31. You can see everything that we did. There's both scales. It even shows you that I used a mask. Back to where I was going to delete that because we don't really need it anymore. I want to get to curves now. So if you've used Photoshop, you're probably familiar with the curves tool in Photoshop. The Pixinsight curves tool has a lot of similarities, except that it's kind of curves on steroids because you can do all the individual color channels, all the color channels at once. The alpha channel, if you're on a ping file, that's the transparency channel. The luminance channel, the A and B channels of the LAB color space, the C channel of the LAB color space, that's called the colorfulness channel. You can also adjust hue and saturation. In this case, I'm using two of the tools. I adjusted the luminance, so I held the background down and enhanced the midtones a little bit. And I lowered the brightest values. So it started out up there. I lowered it because I didn't want the core getting burned out. And I added a lot of saturation to areas that didn't have much color, and I prevented the really colorful areas from getting too hot. So I'm going to track my view, and I'm going to open up a real-time preview to see how this might look. Before, after. Well, pretty cool, but maybe the saturation is a little bit too much, particularly in the areas where there's already a lot of color, so I can bring the curve down in those areas that already have lots of color. This is a very, very flexible tool. At some point, you're going to love what you see. Everybody's got a different eye, so there's nothing right or wrong here. Do have a good close look at the areas that you're most interested in, with and without. Make sure you're not damaging anything. I think that's pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it. And that's 10 steps completed, and now I want to share it with my friends. Before I can share it with my friends, I have to make sure that your monitor, your computer, your printer knows how I want the image displayed. I want it displayed as an RGB color image with the color balance that you see here. For good or for bad, this is how I want you to see it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool, the ICC Profile Transformation tool. ICC is the International Color Consortium. And I'm going to use it to convert this image so that it has this default colorful profile in it that most computers and monitors and printers can display well. I'm going to use relative colorimetric to match the white points for display, and I'm going to use black point compensation to make the blacks look better. Applying this won't have any impact on what you see, but it's going to change what happens when I save the file. That's just like you do in Windows or on a Mac. You would save or save as. And you have a lot of different file formats you can choose from here. I like the JPEG format because that's how I share all my files. You can give it any name that you want. I'm going to call this M31 AstroPalooza. I'll save it to my desktop. I use 95% quality, indistinguishable from 100, but a lot smaller. Notice that I'm embedding that color profile, so it should look the same on your screen as it does on mine. I click OK. I'll start saving the project again. And while the project is saving, I'm going to go out to my desktop. Have a look at that JPEG that I just made and make sure that it looks right. And that looks to me just like it looked in Pixinsight. So I know that color profile is working. And with that, I'm going to stop my sharing and get back into this meeting. There we go.
That was awesome.
Awesome.
Love it.
That was great. Kevin Rasso had a quick question. he noticed that you applied ICC with the mask on. Does it or does it not make a difference?
It does not make a difference.
There you go.
It's just going to be embedded in the color information when you save it out.
And then,
By the way, it also doesn't make a difference when you save the file. The mask is just something internal to Pixinsight that the processes know is there.
gotcha.
Nice. And all that in just 11 steps.
Yep.
That's pretty
Yeah,
slick.
it's like there's 150, 200 processes, 11 steps, you know?
Exactly.
Don't get overwhelmed. Get a workflow, get a discipline, and then get good at using a few tools well.
Yes,
Yep.
Stu had a nice comment. It said it prevents the photo from getting COVID doing it in 11 steps.
Well, a nice visible dark. Shawn says he could do it in 10 steps, Ron.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. I can finish that image in 8 steps, Don.
That's
Hey
awesome.
Dan, can I share my screen once again? Just remind everybody of
Absolutely.
our next workshop.
Yep.
Okay.
Let me just get you up, Pete.
Yep.
Let's see. And there we go. And there you go.
Voila.
You're all set.
Okay. Yeah. So our next workshop, join us on the 27th. Ron will be processing M45. We hope that you can join us again. It's Masters of Pixinsight.com. We have a $5 off.
More than 11 steps.
Yes. Yes. And he'll take 2 hours to process the image too, instead of
There you
20
go.
minutes. Great job, Ron. But the coupon code, again, for any of our workshops or anything on the website is $5 off code for any of the workshops, APOD. Use that. I mentioned before, the things we love about what we do is the community we have online. This is just the traffic today. So we'd like to think that, look, we have people really up in the great white north up there, don't we?
You ain't kidding.
Okay.
Yep.
But it's an international audience, and it's a lot of fun. If you can't attend the live workshop, we used to do workshops for the EU about 5 hours earlier, but since we record the workshops, it was kind of redundant, and people typically get back or come back. We tell everyone, just sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself watching what's going on, ask your questions, and then a couple days later, we get the videos posted along with the download, and then you can process, go along with Ron or Warren, who's ever teaching. So again, it's a lot of fun. We hope we see you at our next workshop. Remember, we have that coupon code. So that's all I say. We're pretty proud of our international audience, and I just wanted to show everyone. So.
You know, that's pretty awesome, because if you show that again, I want to know who's in the middle of the Pacific there. You know, yeah, I think they had some
you know,
or in Finland.
With everything going on in the world, I had 2 guys on the borders between Russia and Ukraine, 2 astronomers on watching workshops. You know, and to me, it's like it really was just to think about everything going on in the world, and these 2 guys, you know, at about the same time looking at this stuff. You know, I don't want to get political, but
nope.
You know, you get 2 astronomers together, maybe we could solve the problems of the world.
That would be great. That would be awesome. I would love. We would all
and
love that.
And musicians.
Yeah. Well,
Amen.
There you go.
Yeah, you know, and that's something we got to do. Next time I'm bringing my Rickenbacker down, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not very good. I'm not as good as you two, but you know, I can play a tune or two.
And I just posted in the chat, we do have a few people are complaining maybe that if things weren't clear enough on their screen to see the settings and things like that. We do have a free newbies workshop that it's expanded on what Ron just did, and it's about an hour and a half. and
Okay.
I just posted that link, and that'll go through a lot of what Ron showed you today, and enjoy it. Again, a lot of free resources out there too.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ron,
you know, I think the main thing isn't the settings. The main thing is don't be daunted.
Yeah.
Don't think that Pixinsight is harder than it is. If you're smart enough to get into this web chat, you're smart enough to get into Pixinsight. It doesn't take that much, and it doesn't matter whether you want to learn PI, Photoshop, APP. All of it takes work.
they don't see the link, Pete. Where did you?
I posted again in the chat. Let me do this.
Probably because you're managing it. Maybe you need to.
No, it's on
post
YouTube.
it
Now I would have seen.
Yeah,
it.
I'm on the YouTube chat. I posted it.
Okay.
So,
But,
here. Let me share my screen again, and I'll show you exactly where it is.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah, maybe if the link is probably just because I'm the admin of the show. You might not
That's
be
what
able
I'm
to.
saying.
Okay. Well, let me toggle my screen share on again.
Oh.
Okay.
But so your point, Ron, while he's pulling that up, you're absolutely right. I mean, I remember for now, and I'm not afraid to say it, for at least I had Pixinsight for at least a year and a half, and all I was using it for was Blink. Before you guys came and you started introducing Master of Pixinsight, and I got into the newbies classes, and it's a testament to what you guys do. You made it a lot less intimidating. You really taught me, hey, if you follow these processes and you develop a workflow, it's not as daunting. It's just following the workflow, following the steps, and it's not as intimidating as, it's really made out, that so many have made it out to be. But it is a powerful tool, that's for sure.
So if you go to our workshop page,
okay,
click on workshops, get to this page. Newbie series, right underneath the explanation of the newbie series, says click here and try our free Pixinsight for Newbies workshop. And that's an actual workshop. It's an older workshop. It's on a little bit old, a 3-year-old, whatever Pixinsight was 3 years ago. So, but it is a newbie series, so everything should apply that's in there. And then if you want the latest and greatest, you can come and subscribe to the latest newbies workshop. Again, we record all our workshops. All of the when you get in here, you'll see that the recordings are here, the downloads are here. We also provide chapter markers, so if you come back in and want to get to one specific thing, it's up here for you. We're trying to make the site as user-friendly as possible. Also, if you subscribe to any workshop, you also get access to our free Quick Tips. And Quick Tips is a free hourly workshop that we do for our subscribers on a quarterly basis. So those and all the old ones are here. Again, anytime we do something live, we record it. And we also have something called Quick Tips, or supplemental videos in Quick Tips. And it's little tips and tricks we might come across, things that we think that are important to the community to know, for the community to know, and they're posted here. And again, subscribe to one class, and you have access to this. And again, our IP for AP tutorials page. This was called by one person, Pixinsight University. Warren wrote a great book called Inside Pixinsight, and this is like the video version of that book. And it has over 200 plus bite-sized videos on individual processes, workflows from start to finish. If you don't want to, Warren takes you through and shows you how to do image pre-processing in the manual way, which is very cool. And but we also have our Reloaded series, which is anything new coming up in Pixinsight. It's kind of in a workflow format in here. And then we have AstroDoc's Corner. So we have Dr. Ron coming in here with his tutorials too. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great community out there, and we've met so many great people doing this, and we're just having a ball, right, guys?
Yep.
So
Bring it.
That's awesome.
that's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Yep. I've been, a huge supporter of you guys, and I've taken lessons. I haven't taken lessons from Warren yet, but I've taken lessons from Warren. That's got to come. I got to get a different. What's that?
You've taken a lot from me.
Of course.
A lot of shit.
Well, now I'm holding the shirt, hostage because I want a free hour for the shirt. So
There you go.
Free.
We see how you are.
Nothing is truly free.
The shirts are free for you guys. But thank you so much, guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate everything and all the support throughout this year and in the future. You guys have been such great proponents of the show, and it's been awesome. And and we do have to give away 3 free classes. So
There you go.
why don't we give away 3 free classes right now? How about that? Why don't we do that before we let you guys go? And we'll go to the AstroPalooza wheel. And here we go. Look at it. I can't even read the names anymore. This is crazy.
How many you got it?
So here we go. 300. Yeah.
Bring it up on the screen.
Thank you. Sorry. You have a 1 in 340 chance of winning, or 3 because we're giving away 3 classes today.
Is my name on the wheel? That's an
No.
inside joke. That's an inside joke to shoot 'em off, guys.
Oh no.
We always have somebody says, my name wasn't on the wheel. I say, holy cow, how can you read that wheel? But
That's funny. Oh, here we go. Number 1. Let me get my pad out. Where's my pad?
I have never seen it with this many people. Dan.
Me neither.
It's incredible.
First free Master of Pixinsight class goes to Terry Maurice.
yes.
Terry
All right,
Maurice.
Very.
And I'll get Pete. I'll send you the emails for everybody and
Yes.
all that.
Terrific.
Number 2. And John Williams. Is that the composer?
Williams.
John Williams.
Hey, that would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah. Maybe he's coming back to make Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, last one to go. Here we go. It takes longer for the wheel to spin if you got more names, I think. Last one. Robert Slobins.
Robert's one of our
Regular
first
customers.
subscribers.
Nice.
Nice.
He's been to our live workshops too.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Awesome.
Yes.
Great.
And he's won an all expense paid trip to the next full eclipse, solar eclipse.
Yes.
Wow.
He's got some great
How do you
pictures.
win that?
Let me tell you.
I want to be on
No.
that wheel.
No, you're giving it away.
Oh, I'm giving away. Oh, God. Jen, you're not watching, right? We just lost about $30,000.
Think of it as
Yes, but think of the publicity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some crazy guy from New York just gave somebody $30,000 to send somebody to an eclipse.
Well, listen, we will fly him out on the corporate jet.
There you go.
The MOP corporate
There it is.
jet, okay.
There you
We'll-
go.
We'll do that.
The MLP corporate jet. That's awesome.
I want to see on the belly of the plane mop.
There it is. The big 747.
Absolutely.
Really nice.
And I want to
got
it flown by
three
Bruce
separate bedrooms
Dickinson
in it.
of Iron Maiden. That's who I want it flown by.
All right.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you.
everything that you guys do for us in the show.
Appreciate you
And
too.
you guys are awesome. So thank you again so much.
Congratulations
A lot of
on your
fun.
first annual AstroPalooza.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, first annual. So believe it or not, we do the picture of the month, and soon to be, we're going to be announcing the picture of the year in early January, and we're going to be the calendars are coming out, right? So the calendars are coming out in like the second or third week in January, And already I put in there December, I think it's 8th, the first Saturday in December, AstroPalooza 2 ? So we shall see if that's going to happen. And it looks like the response that we're getting today and the viewership that we're getting is looks like it's going to be wanted by the masses. So
It's in my calendar.
there you go. The first Saturday in December, and then the second Saturday in December we go to the Sheet Shed.
Okay.
Awesome, fellas. Thank you so much, Warren,
Yes.
Pete,
Thanks.
Ron. Thank you so much
See you
for
on the
coming and
panel
hanging out with
later.
us. What's that? Oh yeah,
I-
see,
I-
yeah.
Panel later.
We're running about 45 minutes late, so I mean, just keep that in
I'll
mind.
be watching.
I won't make it
Terrific.
to the panel. I've got a date.
What?
Somebody's having a birthday.
It's got a date.
What? Tell them to come on, hang out. Don't birthdays.
What's more important than astronomy?
Nothing's more important. There's no crying in astronomy. All right, fellas.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Really appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.